we talk about the necessity of having good police officers, right? Well, you gotta have good leadership. There's a black police chief trying to implement common sense reform, trying to get rid of symbols that remind the community of the KKK. And yes, there's pushback. Let's go to this guy named Joel Fitzgerald. Put up a picture of Mr. Fitzgerald. Mr. Fitzgerald was slammed because he wanted to get rid of a symbol. I'm gonna give you some background to this story. Fitzgerald was slammed with criticism last fall after he and a few other city council members began pushing for the department's emblem to be removed. All right, sounds like something just and worthy. This doesn't sound controversial, at least not yet. And I want to remind everyone that this issue is still ongoing, okay? So the city council members are with the chief here, began pushing for the department's emblem to be removed. The report notes that the green-eyed, red-bodied griffin, which is ancient mythic creature, that has been emblazoned on the officers' patches since the 1960s, bears striking resemblance to what? The Ku Klux Klans, okay? The council voted in favor of removing the symbol in a 5-2 vote. Fitzgerald's historic feat did not go over well with his co-workers and some of the city residents. Can we put up a picture of what's in question here? Okay. Now, I want to remind you that this is the first black police chief of this district. Let's put the symbols up again. On the left is the police emblem. On the right are the KKK Grand Dragon symbols. Fitzgerald said, and I quote, "I don't think there's any police chief in America in a small or medium-sized department that has endured this for the reason I have endured it. And I think the reasons I have to do with race." You don't say, said Fitzgerald, who previously served as the chief of larger departments in Fort Worth, Texas, and Allentown, Pennsylvania. "This is my fourth job being the first black police chief. I've dealt with pushback at other places, but never so overt, never so non-factual." Fitzgerald noted that he and his boss, who's the mayor, Quentin Hart, the city's first black mayor, they have now received several threats and racist backlash following the controversial move. Some of the negative comments have come from a few of his predecessors, including city council member Margaret Klein, who wrote on her Facebook page that the, and I quote, "beat down of our police officers continues," adding that she was devastated by the removal of the beloved 50-year patch design. She has now called for Chief Fitzgerald's resignation. Now get this is the same council member who would have given someone a promotion for beating up an unarmed person, especially if they were black. But don't you dare touch that KKK symbol. Oh no, you need to resign from your post. This is still ongoing. Wise, I'm gonna go to you about this, man. What are your thoughts?
The melodrama from police types just always, it never ceases to amaze. We're being beat down because we might switch out the dragon, which is so clearly KKK iconography, with something like, I don't know, a terrier, like a lion, something just less offensive. Like, the idea like, oh, it means vigilance. Like, all right, cool. Are you guys so uncreative that you can't come up with another way to another emblem, another symbol that would demonstrate vigilance and courage and all of this other crap that these guys claim this dragon espouses? It's just amazing, and it's hard, it's hard to take anything that comes out of police sort of rhetoric at it on its face, at their word, because they're so ridiculous at times. Something as simple as just switching out the iconography turns into, all of this hand wringing. And it's hard to take these guys serious when it comes to getting stuff right in the communities that need it the most, when they give this level of pushback for something this innocuous and unimportant.
Yeah, and let me tell you how deep this runs. Now, this is in Waterloo, okay? And this guy has a history of successfully integrating police departments and implementing diverse policies, right? So he's the guy. If you want to do this with your police department, this is the guy you hire. He has a successful track record. According to Black and Blue Police Advocacy, they released a statement calling the mayor a radical mayor. Now, this is about an emblem. Calling the mayor a radical mayor for supporting the emblem's removal. The group also released an anonymous survey taken by a dozen retirees and current staff members of the department that showed 98 members, all 98 members of the police department believed now that the chief was not fit for his current position. Damn near 100% of his staff have turned against him because of an emblem. Now, let me ask you this question. What emblem, if not connected to racial sentiment, would do that to almost 100% of your staff? None. It's connected to the racial core of who they believe they are. All right?